It's easy to believe that celebrities are immune to life's problems with their fame and fortune, but the truth is that some of them have experienced the harsh reality of being homeless. In this video, we'll delve into the stories of well-known celebrities who went from the pinnacle of success to living on the streets. Berkeley. Berkeley, also known as The Blade, was a successful boxer who won championship titles in 3 different weight classes during the 1980s and 1990s. Earning millions in winnings. However, after retiring, he quickly spent his fortune on expensive cars, jewelry, and fur coats, leaving him homeless and sleeping on the subway. Despite an unsuccessful attempt at a boxing comeback, he eventually received help from family and friends and is no longer homeless. Sugar Ray Williams. Sugar Ray Williams had the world at his feet when he was drafted by the New York Knicks in 1977, but his fortune turned sour after he retired in 1987. Despite earning well as a professional athlete, he struggled with his finances and lost everything.
With a 10-year NBA career that made him $2.5 million, ends up living like this.
Including his family and home. Even his NBA pension couldn't save him after he was scammed in 2010.
My first impression was, not letting my mother or my family get whim on how severe the situation was.
Williams ended up homeless, living out of his car and surviving on donations and odd jobs. He passed away in 2013, a sad reminder that life can be cruel even to those who seem to have it all. Margot Kidder. She was best known for playing Lois Lane in the original Superman movies.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No, I don't, but if I did, Miss Lane, you'd be the first to know about it.
However, in 1996, she suffered a severe mental breakdown and was missing for several days. Kidder was found living on the streets, using bushes and cardboard boxes for shelter. She had no money, was missing teeth, and was unrecognizable to those who found her. Luckily, she received treatment and continued working in television and movies. Robert Driscoll. Child stars seem to be plagued with outrageous health issues and other problems, and Robert Driscoll, better known as Bobby Driscoll, is no exception.
Are you all right?
Oh, he's fine. He was just worried about his engine.
Sure, Mom. You don't think us old trainmen worry about little bumps, do you?
Atta boy.
He was a huge Disney star in the 1940s and 1950s, but by the early 1960s, he was struggling with the law and drug use. After being released from prison in 1965, he moved to New York in search of work, but nothing materialized. Driscoll spent the last few months of his life homeless and living on the streets until he was found dead in an abandoned apartment building in 1968. This tragic story is just one example of how quickly wealth and success can disappear.
Best performance by a child actor or actress during the year 1949. Bobby Driscoll. Bobby?
Danny Bonaducci. If you were a TV fanatic in the 70s or have a soft spot for vintage shows, chances are you've seen Danny Bonaducci in action as a freckled child star on Partridge Family. However, his fame didn't shield him from the harsh realities of show business. When the show ended, job offers dried up, and he struggled with addiction and unemployment. Things got so bad that he ended up living in his car behind the Chinese Theater in Hollywood.
So I was homeless in Hollywood, which, by the way, is as good a place as any. And I lived right behind this dumpster, but I lived in my car. And then I'd go just like through this little arch, and I'd be in front of Grauman's Chinese Theater, where everybody's footprints are, and I was still famous.
To where he'd sneak away to after meeting fans during the day.
I'd be taking pictures of people and signing autographs. When I was done, then I would sneak back to my car. It was totally embarrassing to be famous and homeless.
Luckily, he's been able to turn his life around in the last 2 decades and is no longer homeless. Natasha Lyonne. Natasha Leone is a familiar face on both the big and small screens.
Hi, Pee-wee! We've got a new member. Her name is Opal.
Hi!
Hi!
She rose to fame in the late 90s with American Pie, and later played a recluse in Orange is the New Black.
I don't need anything from you or anybody. Don't come near me. The whole family is sick. I hate us. We're freaks.
Despite her on-screen success, Leone has faced personal problems around 2004. She was evicted from her apartment, faced legal charges, and ended up homeless.
I can't believe that was me.
Admitted to a New York hospital under an assumed name with serious health issues and signs of drug use.
Sort of a dysmorphic teenager, heroin chic.
Thankfully, she was able to turn her life around, finding a steady job and a place to live. Randy Quaid. Randy Quaid's face is one of those you can never forget. From Independence Day to Christmas movies, he's been in countless Hollywood blockbusters.
I'm back!
And earned a fortune. However, recent years haven't been kind to him.
Police media corruption.
Are refugees. I mean, that's essentially what it is. Hollywood refugees. Seeking to be left alone by the criminals in America.
He's been in legal trouble for unpaid bills and even occupied a house that wasn't his. To make matters worse, he claims someone was trying to kill him and fled to Canada with his wife.
And I believe that many others, such as Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan,
they're going to come over and shoot me with a gun.
Evie, will you shut up for a minute, please? Please.
Killed David Carradine and Heath Ledger. These star whackers are out to kill you as well.
Only to be denied refugee status. Now he's living in Vermont and getting back to nature. At least his character, Cousin Eddie, had a fancy RV to live in. Rocky Lockridge. Rocky Lockridge was a successful boxer in the 1980s.
Fighter here, Rocky Lockridge, has won the night. Congratulations, Rocky.
Thank you very much, Kurt.
You need everyone now to go back and fight Pedroza for the championship.
But unlike other athletes, he was already battling addiction during his career. After retiring, he struggled with multiple arrests, homelessness, and addiction.
I work my tail off so much harder now than I've ever had before. I don't want my son to do what I do.
In the 1990s, he lived on the streets of Camden, New Jersey, and had no money or home. However, a chance encounter where he knocked out a bully went viral and led to an intervention by his family. He has since turned his life around. And although he is not wealthy, he is no longer homeless.
I lived the dream and now the nightmare.
Brett Butler. If you were glued to the TV in the 90s, chances are you remember Brett Butler as the tough and independent Grace on the hit ABC show Grace Under Fire.
You know, they're just gonna blame me the first time it does something wrong.
Unfortunately, her success was short-lived, as her drug addiction soon began to impact her work on the show.
People always ask me, was she using during that time when she was actually filming the show?
Actually filming, yeah. It doesn't require, that sounds so wrong, disrespectful, it doesn't require every brain cell to be there and do that. There's
ultimately leading to its cancellation. After leaving Los Angeles, Butler disappeared for several years until she was discovered living on a farm in Georgia and later in a homeless shelter. Despite hitting rock bottom, Butler has since bounced back, returning to the small screen with appearances on various shows and movies. Willie Ames. Willie Ames was once a successful TV actor in the 70s and 80s, starring in popular shows. However, after his high-profile work petered out, he was left with a lot of money in the bank. Unfortunately, his wife's illness consumed all of their savings, and he eventually lost everything, including his home. He was forced to sleep in parking lots and bushes until he was able to turn his life around and overcome his drug addiction. Despite no longer being a hit from the 80s, anything is better than being homeless. Don't forget to watch our other amazing videos, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to stay connected with us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.